Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My dear student, only one student who has asked me to redo the exercise 4.9. Though I have already done few of its question in my routine lecture, but since she have asked me to do the questions, so I am doing the same for her. Exercise 4.9. Here it is, exercise 4.9. This is exercise 4.9 and it is all about again the statistics. Now there are 4 questions in it. I have done few of the questions in my routine lectures, but since my student has asked, so I am going to do it on the table instead of doing it on the whiteboard. The table shows the result of a survey carried out on a university campus to find out about the use of online sport services among students. Draw a pie chart to illustrate this data. Now you can see that this is question number 1. This is question number 1, which I have read it for you, and this is the data. I am going to demonstrate it. We have only to draw a pie chart. Now let me start it on the paper. Now let me rewrite these things whatsoever are written. Now question number 1, we will take up question number 1, and there is a table given. Let me reproduce the table first and then I'll go further. Now this is the chart which is given for question number 1. This is question number 1 and we have to make a pie chart of it. Let me read. Now this is a 2 into 4 table. 4 means there are 4 rows and 2 columns in it. Category and number of students. Never used online sport. There are 180 students. Used online sport in the past, 120. Used online sport presently, there are 100. Now we have to draw a pie diagram or pie chart for the same data, and we have to illustrate it very clearly. We'll take a pair of compass, fix a pencil on 8. We'll take a reasonable radius, then we'll draw a circle. Okay, now this is a circle from where we are going to start our pie diagram. Now what I told you about the pie diagram. Now dear, we are going to make this pie diagram. It is very easy what I told you about the formula. Now dear, what we have to do is we have to manipulate these numbers in this circle, and you know that this circle consists of how many degrees? 300 degrees. We cannot do it at random. We have to calculate it how, and I told you in my lecture how to calculate the angle which is going to which we are going to draw over here. So first of all, what we'll do here, we'll calculate the total number of the students or whatsoever is given to us. So here it is very easy to calculate. It is 0 and again it is 0 and 1 carries over here and 400. Now this became 400 students, out of which 180 students never used online sport, 120 students used online sports in past and 100 students which use online sport presently. So how we will calculate the angle which should be drawn over here? The angle is, you know that the angle is theta, and this circle consists of 360-degree angles from its beginning to its end. In fact, the beginning and end are at the same point. If this is the beginning and the same is the end over here, so it consists of 360 degree. So what we will do, we will mark these categories as 1, 2. This is optional step. 3. So here 1. So theta will be 180 divided by 400 multiplied by 360. Now we'll be able to we'll be able to solve the sector angle. We'll able to calculate the sector angle, for which we have to draw uh, which we have to show the number of students which are 180. So you know that this figure, now this figure will remain same for all the three categories. This figure will remain the same. This figure will remain the same. So just calculate this 0 with 0, and it will become 36 divided by 40. 36 divided by 40 will give us 0.9. So this will be 0.9 for every calculation. And for 0.9 multiplied by 180, it will give us, multiplied by 180, it will give us 162 degrees. Now these are 162 degrees. For the second one, the same. You can write it, but the result, it will become the same. 120. In fact, it is 120. 120, and these are the same. These are the same. So this will cut to 9.9, and 0.9 multiplied by 12, 0.9 multiplied by 0.9 multiplied by 120. This was 120, okay. For the second 120, it will become 108 degree. 108 degree. For 3, what will it become? 100 divided by 400 multiplied by 360. So it will be again come 0.9, and this will become 90 degree. 100 multiplied by 0.9. So it will become 90. So my dear students, if you calculate these angles, now these should come to 360 degree. This should come to 360 degree. 90 plus 108 plus 162. You see that the all became as 360 degree if you plus them. If you only plus them, it will become 360 degree. Then our whole circle will be acquired. Now how we will draw this? It is very simple. We'll start it from anywhere. So I am going to start it from here. Okay, now you see I have drawn a radius. Now from this radius, we are going to draw 162 degrees towards anti-clockwise. ठीक है, एंटी क्लॉकवाइज हम इस पे डिग्रीज लगाएंगे 162. Now, my dear students, with the help of protector, you may have this half protector. I do have this whole. In fact, I have it, but I don't know where I have put it. So we'll place the 0 over here. Now this is our 0. This is our 0 here. You can see it. This is 0 and this is coinciding with this line which I have already drawn before. So I have to take 162-degree angles. Now this is, in fact, this is, so this is 0, 90 and 160, and 160 will 160 comes over here and 162 will come over here. So we'll mark a point over here, 160, 162, and then we will join this mark till the circle ends, to this. Now sector this sector is the category for which the students never used online sport, and this is 180. We'll proceed from head to tail arrangement. Now this is our starting point for the next category. This is our starting point for the next category, and that is 108-degree. Now for with the same, I am going to draw 108-degree. 108-degree. 110. There we are with 110, and you see that 110 is written over here. So 110 and 108-degree. So here it will become 108-degree. So I'll again mark till the circle 108-degree over here, and the last must become a 90-degree, and it is almost 90-degree with the error percentage of a plus minus 1. So you can see that, my dear student, it is 90 over here. Okay, exact 90 over here. The same point is being. So I'm going to color these three, and then I'll provide the key for it. Now, my dear students, you can see that this pink color is for, as provided in the key, this P color is for this 180 students, green color is for the category 2, which is 120 student, and the brown color is for category 300 students. So this is the pie chart which was given and it has been drawn. It was very easy. So I hope that you would have understood the question. Well, my students, here's a mistake with the writer. The answer is shown for exercise 4.9, smoking habits among the students. Never smoked, smoked in past, smoke at present. Now this was not the question for for us. This was not the question for us. We were doing the use of online sport. Rather, the answer remains the same. Over here. Now you see that we have almost drawn it like this. You see here, we have almost completed. Now you can just turn it over here, turn it over like this, turn it like this, doesn't matter. So this question has been completed. So let's proceed to question number 2. Now question number 2 says, what does it say? The table shows the home language of a number of people passing through the international airport. Display the data as pie chart graph. So it is again to display the data. English, Spanish, Chinese, Italian, French, German, and Japanese. There are some passengers passing through a certain international airport. The frequency is written over here. So let me reproduce the table. My dear student, uh, question 2 states that there are some passengers who speak these languages. Who speak these languages which are written over here. You can see it: English, Spanish, Chinese, and the frequency at that particular airport is 130, 140, 98, 104, and so forth. So we are going to first calculate the total passengers which came to that airport are, let me use calculator, 130 plus 140 plus 98 plus 104 and plus 24 plus 176 plus 22. Now it becomes 694 passengers. 694 passengers. So what will we do? We'll use the same formula, the frequency divided by the total frequency. This will lead us to angle and multiply it with 360 degree. So this is the formula. Now as I told you that this portion of the formula will remain the same for each question, for one question only, for example, now if it is frequency, let me write the frequency over here and the total over here and multiply it with 360 degree. So it will be 360 divided by 694. So it will become 0.51. Now this portion only will become 0.51. Now what we are going to do, we are going to do that we will illustrate this whole working on that paper. We will not do it like this. Okay, maybe your tutor or teacher does not like this way, so you have to do it individually. For English students, write E 130 694 multiplied by 360. So it will become, since I have already calculated this part, I'll simply multiply 0.51 with 0.51 with 130. With 130, it will become 67.4. So rounding it has become 67.4. I'll round it because we have the error of plus minus 1 degree. We have the error, possibility of error plus minus 1 degree. So we are going to round it to 67 degree, and when it becomes less than 0.5 degree, you round it to the smaller one, and if it becomes more than 0.5 degree, you go to the another degree. So similarly keep on doing it like this. S 140 694 multiplied by 360, it again become as 71.4. I am going to take 71 degree. Chinese. Now keep on illustrating it like this, but now I am going to do it short. So 51.9898 is equal to 50 degree. Now this has become 50 degree. Italians are 104. 104. 104 multiplied by 0.51 will give us 53 degree. French. Now you have to keep on doing like this. French 24 multiplied by 0.51, it would become 12 degree, almost half of the 176 multiplied by 0.51, it will become 90 degree. And the last is Japan, and 22 multiplied by 0.51, it will become 11 degree. So if you calculate this, this should become 360 degree with the possible error of 1 degree. Okay. So 67 plus 71 plus 50 plus 53 plus 12 plus 90 plus 11. So again, what we are going to do, we'll draw a circle for pi diagram, a reasonable circle, not so big, not so small. I think this will do it with darker outline, and if you use marker in your, it will be good. So we are going to illustrate all these angles over here. 67 till 11 degree. Okay, now let me start it with the, now here we are going to start this. Okay, 67 degree from here, 67 degree. Okay, 67 degree, 60 and 65 and 67 degree comes over here. We'll mark till the end of the circle, till the circumference of the circle. Okay, now this is category 1. You will color it. Okay, you will color it. We have some different colors lying over here. These are my granddaughter's color, and if she sees here, she will fight with me. Now 71 degree from this point, 71 degree from this point, 71 degree. This is 70 and this is 71. Okay, no problem. From here, now this is zero line for the next one. For the next angle, it is the zero line. So going to draw this again. Now this is the zero line for our third angle. For our third angle, this is 67 degree. You don't have to write it. This is 71 degree, and then again we are going to draw 50 degree from here. Now this is the zero line. How much? 50 degree. Okay, now this is 50 degree. Okay, this is 50 degree, and similarly 53 degree. For my record, I am going to write it with the light pencil, not so dark. 53 degree. 53 degree. 53 degree will come over here somewhere. Okay, now this is 53 degree. 53, then 12, 90 and 11. 12 from this 0 line, 12 will come over here, a very small sector, 90° and then 11°. 90° and then 11°. So this is 90°. And this must be 11° now. Okay. Now color each of the sector with different colors, and then also write key over here. Okay, key for each category. So this question is also solved. So question number 3. The amount of land used to grow different vegetables on a farm is shown below. Draw a pie chart to show the squashes, pumpkins, cabbages, sweet potatoes. Now this is very simple and I am not going to waste my time. Now these are vegetables. Question number 3. Now this is question number 3, and these are vegetables over here. Vegetables, and on in the next row there is area of land in kilometers. Area of land in kilometers. Okay. Now squashes, then pumpkins. I have also grown some pumpkins in my kitchen garden. Cabbages and sweet potatoes. Now there is 1.4 kilometers, 1.4 square kilometers maybe. 1.25, 1.15 and 1.2 square kilometers. Okay. Now we'll calculate this. Square kilometers, 1.4 plus 1.25 plus 1.15 plus 1.2. Now total in square kilometers become 5. These are in fact square kilometers. There is again one mistake over here, that it has written in kilometers. Kilometer is running kilometer. So it is 5 square kilometers. Okay, so it is 5 square kilometer. Now we will do what we will do. We will do the same process over here. 1.4 multiplied by 360 and divided by the total number of the kilometers. So for the first, for this it will become 360 divided by 5, it will become 72. Now this portion becomes 72. Now we'll multiply each of the following vegetables with 72, and then we'll get the sector for each vegetable. So 72 multiplied by 1.4, it becomes 72 multiplied by 1.4 becomes 108 degree. 100.8 degree. So what I told you, to round it out, it will become 101 degree. By rounding it, it will become 101 degree. For the next category, that is 1.25, 1.25 multiplied by 72, it will become 90 degree. The second one will become 90 degree. Now I am going to write right here, okay, that you may recognize each of the sectors whatsoever is written. 1.15 multiplied by 72. You will show the working out of it, okay? You will show the working, this working for each vegetable. That will become 82.8 degree. That will become 83 degree. Okay. And for the last, it is 1.2 multiplied by 72. It will become 1.2 multiplied by 72 equals 86 degree. Okay, now it is very simple again. Just draw a circle with the same radius as previous. Okay, and start from any point. Now for the previous two I have started horizontally. Now I am going to start it vertically to let you know that there is no hard and fast rule. So for the first, it is 101 degree. Put your protector over here, 100 and 101. So this will become 101 degree. This is 101 degree and 1.4. Let me write it 1.4 over here. Just that as I remember, I will not forget it. Pumpkins 90 degree from here. Pumpkins are from here and these are 90 degree. So write it 90 degree. 1.25. Now the next is 83 degree. 83 degree. And the last is 86 degree. In fact, I have to write 1.15 and then I'll write 1.2. Okay, now this is the required, and you will color it with different colors and then provide the key for the same. So this was our third question and we are only left with one question now. Now my dear student, I'm going to demonstrate to you. In fact, I have already tried it on the table, but due to some technical reasons, uh, it was not good to be uploaded. So, as you are seeing, you see that we are doing this question now. The nationality of students in international school is shown on the pie chart, in the pie chart. So there are Brazilian students with the yellow mark and the French with green, Indian are purple, American are uh, orange, and Chinese are blue. And there are four questions asked: A, B, C, D. I'll read them to you. And for D, there are four sub parts also available in the questions. So, what is the now you see that what is the our mission to do is we'll now I'll reproduce the same pie chart over here, almost same pie chart. Now this is the same pie chart over here. This is the same pie chart, and for this pie chart, I may tell you that I am going to make it almost rough of it. So if I say you that this is the line, 180-degree line, and the Chinese students are here in this part. Now this part was blue and was held by the Chinese student. So this part is blue and this is held by the Chinese student. Okay, if I do it blue. Okay, now what is the question over here? Question number A. Now question number A states that what fraction of students are Chinese? What fraction of students are Chinese? It is very simple to demonstrate. With the naked eye, you can see that this portion seems to be 90-degree. Now this portion seems to be 90-degree. When this is 90-degree, that means this is the supplementary of this. Therefore, the Chinese and the Brazilian. Now this part is held by the Brazilian students. This is the for the Chinese student. This part is held by the Brazilian students, and the color is yellow. I don't have the yellow color, so I am doing it the other color very lightly to consider it as yellow. Now this is the area held by. Now this is the area held by the Brazilian students. This is the area held by the Chinese students. If this is 90, then obviously this portion, remaining portion, will also be 90-degree, and the total portion is 180-degree. So this 180-degree and this all semicircle over here is also 180-degree, because in the circle there are 360-degree angle. There are how many angles? 360-degree. Now if I say that for A, what what fraction of students are Chinese, what fraction of students are Chinese, and if I measure it with the help of protractor, you will notice that this will is almost 90-degree. Where it is here. We'll coincide this zero, and you see that this is almost 90-degree, So when it is 90-degree, that means 90 out of 360 degrees. 90 out of 360 degrees. If I now this is 360-degree. 360-degree. If I just cross them, it will become 104. Now 1 by 4th population is there for the Chinese. Now this is the ask: how much fraction? What fraction of students are Chinese? What fraction of students are Chinese? So they are 1 by 4th of the total population. Since in this question, at this stage, the total number of student is not given. Now, for the second question, B part, what percentage of students are Indian? What percentage of students are Indian? Now, for example, the Indian students are here somewhere, like this and like this. Now, this is the area held by the Indian students. This is the area held by the Indian students, and it is purple. Now if I measure it, it will be 38-degree, as I measured it in the as I measured it in the book. So put your 0 over here. This is your 0 and you see that it is almost 38 and 39 degree. So solving it for 38 degree, for example, solve it for 38 degree. Now there are 38 degrees out of 360 degree. 38 degree out of 360 degree. So if I cut them, it will become 0.0155. Now you see, now this question, this part B is asked in percentage. To convert it into percentage, we have to multiply it with 100. We have to multiply it with 100. So it will become 1055 multiplied by 100. So it will become 10.55%. That is almost equal to 11%. That is almost equal to 11%. After rounding this 0.5 to the next higher position, Now part C, the ratio of the Brazilian students in decimal fraction. The ratio of the Brazilian students in decimal fraction. Now, as you know, the Brazilian students were also acquiring 90-degree angle with this whole 360. So again, A and C are the same, but in A, the fraction, the fraction was asked, but in C, it is asked in the decimal fraction. So 1 by 4th will remain the same, 1 by 4th will remain the same, and if we divide it, it will become like this: 1 4 times 0.25, 4.25, 8, and then 20, 24, 5s are 20, so it will become 0.25. So this is in the decimal fraction. Now for the D, if there are 900 students, now in part D, it is told you that there are total 900 students. The population of the student is 900. The total population of the students is 900. So if the total population of the student is 900, the population of the student is 900. We'll measure this angle, and then we'll be able to solve the rest of the question. So the first is for the Chinese. And we know that the Chinese are 1 by 4th of the total population. So 1 by 4th of the total population, that means 900 1 by 4th multiplied by 900. So it will simply become 225. So it will become 225. And for the Indian students, now for the Indian students in part 2 of the D, for the Indian students, you know that the Indian students are 11%. So removing the 11, moving the sign of percentage, I told you in my last lecture that how to, it means 11% means 11 for every 100, 11 for every 100. It means that 11 for every 100. So we have removed the sign of 100, the sign of percentage, and then we multiply it with the will 900, the total population of the students. So this will cross this one, and the total number of Indian students will become 99. In fact, in your book, the population of the Indian students is 100. So it is almost equal, so don't need to worry about the American students. The American students are one, two, three. There are American students also, and the American is orange over here. Now this is the area which is held by the American students. Now this area is 38, and now this angle is 80 degree over here. 80 degree, as I measured it from the book. It is very easy to measure it from the book. Just place your D over here. You see that this has become 80 degree. Very 80 degree here. Now 80. So we have to find it for 80 degree. Now 80 degrees within the 360 degree. 80 degree within the 360 degree and for 900 students. So you will calculate this with the help of calculator. 80 divided by 360. So it is 200. So it is 200. So it is 200. So the students, American students are 200, Indian students are 99. In fact, this is one short over here. So 299 and 225 for the Chinese students, and the last is the French students. When this is 80 degree, this is 38 degree, 80 degree, 38 degree, that means that we have already acquired, when this is 80 degree, this is 80 degree, this is 38 degree, then we have already acquired 118 degree. So the left over is the French students, are the French students. 180, 180 minus 118, 62 degree. Now this one is 62 degree left over here. 62 degree left. Now 62 means 62 divided by 360 degree and multiplied by 900. And multiplied by 900. So it will become 62 divided by 360 multiplied by 900. Now these are 155. The part E is, if you can see it, part E is 155 students, French students, 155 French students, 155 French students, and this is how we calculate the students, the number of students. Now, if I just want to check our answer, we'll add this, and the Chinese students. Where were the Chinese students? They're here. Now we will add this, and the Brazilian students, which are equal to 225. So that is why they have not asked the Brazilian students. 225 225 plus 225 again. Now these are the Chinese students and these are the Brazilian students plus Indian students. Now Indian students are in fact 99, it is one short, and plus 200 are the American students plus 155, 904. So it is almost equal. due to some variation of angle, it is coming 904. No problem. The procedure will remain the same. So, my dear students, thank you for asking me questions. Uh, I appreciate your effort that you are my continuous viewer, regular viewer. You are my regular viewer, and you ask me questions and also point out my mistakes as well. So I appreciate your effort, and I request you to please share my channel to your colleagues, to your friends, and your classmates, and whosoever wants to learn you. It's the knowledge sharing process. You give me some knowledge, I'll give you some knowledge too. So therefore, it's time to say you goodbye. Allah Hafiz.